Hello, my name is Riley and I use she, her pronouns. I got my ADHD diagnosis when I was 9 and my autism diagnosis at the end or middle of 12th grade. So I was 17. I have been asked to share about my experiences as a neurodivergent person for the 2023 College Autism Network, also CAN, Summit. I hope the information I provide helps you to understand my journey and that it helps you in your work with other neurodivergent students. I was confident academically, especially in English and social studies, and in the sciences. However, socially, my confidence was a lot lower. I had a couple close friends, and by a couple, I mean two. I wouldn't call myself confident socially in high school. So I didn't have my autism diagnosis until the end of middle of senior year. So I didn't have an IEP until the last quarter of my senior year. And then I got extra time and was able to not use a Scantron and had reduced distraction environment, which was great. During high school, before I got the IEP, my mom helped me with executive functioning tasks, keeping me on track, on time. My mother had access to the assignments and she would look them over at least twice a week and ask me questions about them. April Miller, Independent Educational Consultant. I took a summer leadership and extracurricular activities workshop with her that helped me get more actively involved in activities in high school. And then when we really got into college planning, April Miller helped us so much. What elements of college were important to us? For instance, for me, I was very set on having the major I wanted, environmental engineering, offered at the college. Things my parents were concerned about, of course, is how far from home it was, money, because different things matter to different stakeholders in the college planning process. Then April also helped me write letters of recommendation requests. She has this amazing template that made life so much easier, something I didn't know I needed until I had the template for it, which was amazing. At this point in time, I didn't know I was looking for autism program support because I didn't know I was autistic. The thing that encouraged me to go and get a diagnosis is I somehow got onto the mental health side of YouTube. I saw a video, 20 autism traits in females. I watched the video and I was like, yes, yes, no, yes, 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 no. And I was like, I relate to this video way too much. Then I went on an internet rabbit hole. I looked at the copy of the DSM-5 that my school library had. I read a whole bunch of books about autism. I just knew that I wanted validation. So a couple of my friends actually at that time were going for autism evaluations and getting diagnosed. And if you have a lot of friends who are autistic, you are more likely than not to have at least some sort of neurodivergence because neurodivergent people find each other. I spoke to one of them and ended up going to the same place that she went to, and that was in December of 2022. I got my diagnosis in February. That impacted my life a lot. My IQ was also tested at the autism assessment and I was high enough to be in Mensa. So I joined that and they had a conference on neurodiversity, which was very interesting to watch. More importantly, I joined the NASA's Neurodiversity Network for a summer internship. I wouldn't have known about the NASA's Neurodiversity Network N3 if April Miller hadn't told me. More personally, I was able to understand in my life, like what I was talking about with my dad, I was able to understand when I was having a challenge. So in March, after I'd gotten my diagnosis, I was weighing two different colleges. One of them provided accommodations for autism, that was Drexel. One of them did not and was not super neurodiversity friendly, despite the fact that they had a bunch of neurodivergent students. So at CAN, we have one on one coaching to help executive functioning skills weekly, that's scheduled. We also have a, a class that's part of the program. It's 1.5 credits once a week. And that's also to help with executive functioning and general life. Um, there are a bunch of neurodiversity clubs like Neurodragons. There's this thing called at Drexel called a living learning community. I'm living in the Honors College living learning community, but other neurodivergent students are in the neurodiversity living learning community. I chose Honors College over neurodiversity, but that does not mean there are not neurodiverse people in the Honors College. There are so many people, a lot of people here. There are people who know they're neurodivergent. There are people who don't know they're neurodivergent. There are a lot of people who think that they shouldn't have services that they might actually need. It is something that I want changed.